Today I have the pleasure of bringing you AMD's latest Navi 23 based video card. The Sapphire Radeon Pulse RX 6600 Gaming, a 1080p gaming powerhouse. In this video, we're going to do not only an unboxing, but we're also going to do an install. I'm going to start off by showing you every single thing that comes in this box. That way you don't have to last minute rush out and grab something. Then I'm going to show you how to install this card, removing your old video card, then plugging this bad boy in, uninstalling your old drivers, installing your new drivers, and then letting you go and take care of your system. Anyway, let's get started. Here we are again, the Sapphire Radeon Pulse RX 6600 Gaming. Nothing too crazy along the front. We can see 1080 FHD, 8 gigs of memory, which is 14 gigabits per second, PCIe 4.0. Along the side here, nothing much. Along the back here, a few of the specifications and everything. They do recommend a minimum of 500 watts for this video card. Mind you, that's not only for the video card, that's for the video card and the rest of your system. Along here, just some of the specifications, nothing major. Along the bottom, serial number, UPC, all that good stuff. And the top, just that. So let's go ahead, open it up real quick. Plain brown box. Like in every single Sapphire box, they have in here their manufacturer and representative in Germany. This little pamphlet here. Then over here we have the Sapphire graphics card quick installation guide. As I mentioned, we'll go over that in this video. And here's the video card. I'm going to set it aside for now, just so that we can see foam, anything else. No adapters, just the card itself. That's okay, that's what we want. So first off, the card is incredibly tiny. Like, that's my hand. Card measures about 7.5 inches long. And from the top of the card to the bottom, 4 inches. Now, mind you, if we're talking about from the very top to the bottom of the PCIe slot, about 5.25 inches. But we can see back here, there are 3 DP 1.4 with DSC ports, and then 1 HDMI 2.0 VRR port. Now, this does have a dual fan design, and the fans measure 85 millimeters. We can see over here, removing this plastic. They're kind of pulse design, very elegant design, and then pulse along the middle of the fans. Along the back, again, the little pulse design here, Radeon Sapphire Pulse, kind of looking a little techy back here. As we've seen in most of the newer cards, they have it open right over here so that when these fans blow, they're blowing the hot air through these fins right back here, out the top of the card, which more than likely you're going to have something exhausting out the top, if not out of the back of the system. Okay, on the side of the card, we can find their open design here. We'll see a little heat pipe right over here. Then we can see the heatsink right down here. This does require an 8-pin PCIe connection. Yes, it does need to be connected. The PCB itself, you can see that right here, is even shorter than the video card, coming in at about 6.5 inches. Then back here, this actually looks a little nice, a little grill here that we can see where the card would exhaust from. Some fins back here, and then down here, the plastic little grill. Along the bottom of the card, serial number, UPC, all that good stuff. And then we can see the bottom has that exposed heat pipe. And we can also see the card is about 1.5 inches thick. As we saw, there's nothing else in this box. So if you are going to need any sort of adapters, an extra DVI or VGA to DP or HDMI, you are going to have to buy some. I'll link some down below. Though it's always recommended, rather than going through an adapter, have an HDMI to HDMI or DP to DP cable. You definitely don't want to introduce any sort of issues that typically come from adapters. Anyway, let's get working on putting this inside of the system. So first, we're going to start off with removing the old video card, removing the old drivers, and then installing the new video card and installing the new drivers. All right, so first we'll go ahead and open up Chrome or Firefox or whatever browser you'd like. Then we'll go to wagnardsoft.com and we'll go ahead and download the latest version of DDU. So no matter what you're going to, what you're coming from, I always recommend to remove the old drivers, even if it's a brand new install of Windows and you haven't yet established a new driver. Windows has its own older generic driver already on there. Use DDU to make sure you have a clean environment. So we'll scroll down here and go to official download here. Okay, now while that's downloading, we'll come over here to AMD.com. Then we'll go to drivers and support. Select graphics here. AMD 6000 series, AMD Radeon 6600 series, and you'll see the AMD Radeon RX 6600. It's not out yet officially, so you won't see it here, but then we'll click submit, go to Windows 10 or Windows 11, whichever version you're on, and then download the latest version. Now that we have DDU and the latest driver downloaded, go ahead, hold the left shift key, then right click on the Windows Start button, then shut down or sign up and restart, all while still holding the left shift key. Now you'll be brought into this choose an option window. We'll click troubleshoot, advanced options, startup settings, then restart to change Windows options such as, and restart. Now on this screen, we'll go ahead and hit number 4, the easiest. So then we're brought into this window. We'll go ahead and go to the downloads location and go ahead and run DDU. Extract it to the DDU folder or whatever folder you want to. And now we'll go to that folder and start up display driver uninstaller. So we'll click OK here. Now this is very important you pay attention to. We're going to go ahead and click on everything here, even if we don't have NVIDIA. Going to go ahead and remove all the NVIDIA drivers, all the everything. In this particular case, we do. But if, let's say, you have an AMD card that you're upgrading from, and even in my case, I have an AMD chipset, I'm going to go ahead and just remove all of this to be safe. Because, again, I have an AMD chipset. Place a check over here under DCH driver, and then very important, place a check here under prevent downloads and OK. So what that does is it stops Microsoft from right when you boot into regular Windows mode saying, hey, wait a minute, you don't have a driver. Let me go ahead and fix your computer and install the correct driver. Don't let it do that. You're installing the driver. And then we'll click close here. And now select a device type. We're doing GPU. And NVIDIA, if you had AMD, select AMD. If you had Intel, select Intel. The current card we have right now is an NVIDIA card. And then we'll go ahead, clean and do not restart. This will only take a few seconds. Okay. Clean uninstall completed. Would you like to exit now? We'll go ahead and click yes. And now we'll go ahead and shut down the computer so we can remove the old video card and pop in the new video card. Okay, now that we've turned off the computer and disconnected all the cables, we can leave the power cable connected. Just make sure you flick off the little switch on the back of the PC to make sure there is no power going to the PC. Last thing you want to happen is while you're installing the new card, it turns back on and ruins your machine or ruins the video card. After that, what you want to do before handling any component inside of the computer, either have a grounding strap, which I never wear, I don't like those, but some people like them. Wear a grounding strap and have it clipped onto the power supply, or just put your hands all over the case. Make sure that if you have any ESD in your hands, you zap it on the case, get rid of it from your body, and don't be walking around your house while you're doing this. Take care of this task, then walk around. Now that we have that established, let's go ahead and remove the old video card first. So now the next thing you're going to want to do is remove the PCIe cable. You might have 1, 2, or 3 cables. NVIDIA cards typically have the clip at the very bottom. AMD cards typically have the clip at the top. The clip locks the PCIe head in place. Okay, we can see that little clip right down here. So to remove this one, all you do is squeeze on the little clip here and pull it out. Notice that little clip right there. And now that we have that out, just set it down for now. And now we're going to want to remove the screws. You'll notice at the very back of the video card, there's another little locking mechanism, a little clip right here, that black thing, the tip of the screwdriver is touching. Now on some motherboards, it's easier to get to than others. So what you want to do is hold the card in place so that it doesn't fall out and carefully push down that little locking mechanism. Now you saw it just snap right out when I applied a little pressure. And now we can just easily remove the video card. So now with that locking mechanism open, we can easily install a new video card. If this is going to be your first video card, maybe you've always used CPU on die graphics, it might be locked already. So what you might want to do is just open it up so that you can pop in another video card. Now we're going to go ahead and grab the new 6600, and then we're going to match these PCIe pins with the PCIe slot right over here. And we're going to slide the card right into place and just push it. Now, when we push it, notice that little locking mechanism that we just unlocked over here. That's going to go ahead and snap into place. The little pressure, that's it. The card just clicked into place. And again, you just notice that right back here, lock into place. And now we can go ahead and screw in the video card. Notice I just pushed it up a little bit. That way there is less sag. Even though it's not a heavy video card, you want to keep it up level. So now you notice there is a little clip right over here, a little notch. That was on the very bottom of the card last time on the NVIDIA card. Now that we're on an AMD card, it's reversed as I mentioned before. So this PCIe power connection would normally go just straight in, but we have to flip it over so that little clip is at the very top. Just verify where it is with your video card. Not all video cards are the same. And again, this is a PCIe by 8. So now we'll just go ahead and push that in. Notice the clip right up here, and I'm just going to push it in and you'll see it click in place. It went up and then just latched down. And now it's nice and tight. And don't forget to switch it back on when you're done installing it. And now we'll go ahead and turn on the computer. I brought you to the bottom of the video card so that we can see the fans as it's turning on. Now you may not see the fan spin up immediately sometimes when you're turning on the computer, because after a certain temperature the fans will kick on. That is to prevent noise. So now what we're doing, now that we're in Windows, we'll go ahead back into File Explorer. We'll go into Downloads and we'll go ahead and start up this Wiggle Radeon RX 6600 driver that we just downloaded from the AMD website, and go ahead and install. And then we'll check under additional options just in case. Now we can always do a factory reset, which I always do. Even though we've done DDU, it's always best to have a second check. What that does, it goes ahead and restarts the computer for you so that it has a proper place during the reboot of Windows to uninstall the drivers before the hooks get in. Now DDU does this because it does this in safe mode, but this is a backup just in case. So we'll go ahead and click install. Now is the restarting portion. And now the drivers start doing their thing again. All right, now that the driver is completely installed, all the windows and everything will get resized. That's completely normal. You could leave this checked. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck it. And then I'll go ahead and click finish, but I will manually come in and restart. So after restarting, you can right click anywhere on the background, click AMD Radeon software, and you'll be taken directly into the setup. We can always do a quick setup here, which we'll go ahead and do that now. We're going to use it for gaming, esports, power saving, or standard. I'll go ahead and do gaming. That way we get the most performance out of the card. Continue. And then here we're presented with the entire suite of software AMD provides us with. From here, we can go ahead, take a screenshot, record a video, instant GIF or GIF, instant replay. I like to say GIF, but the correct way is actually GIF, as much as I hate it. Upgrade advisor over here. It's telling us, hey, we're good over here with the Radeon RX 6600 and the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X. Then over here, this goes ahead and tells us all the games that we have installed, and it'll give us all the recommendations to optimize them. Compatibility over here. Record and stream, and different performance options, including overclocking. So then over here, we can see all the specs on the card itself. AMD Radeon RX 6600. This is, again, the Sapphire Radeon card. See that right over here, including the BIOS version, Navi 23 GPU, 7nm technology. Then we can see 6 gigs of GDDR6 from Hynix, bus width 128 bits, 8 gigs or 8192 megabytes, bandwidth of 224 gigabytes per second. This is the current version we have. By the time it launches, there might be a newer version. Driver date was from September 24th. The driver is WICL certified, Windows Hardware Quality Lab certified. We can see here the GPU clock as well as the memory frequency, and then the boost clock. We do have resizable bar enabled, which we did test as well on the 3060, and it is a PCIe 4.0 video card, 64 ROPS, and 1792 unified shaders, with a pixel fill rate of 159.4 gigapixels per second and a texture fill rate of 279 gigatexels per second. So I did this video a little bit different than I do most of my unboxing videos or my install videos, where I typically segment them into 2 separate videos. I put it all into one video. Let me know if you prefer that format. The review is coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. You might have noticed when I did the install of the drivers, I went through all of the specifications because I didn't mention them towards the beginning of the video. During the discussions with AMD, we were only given specifications for AMD's reference model. Of course, Sapphire being a third-party board partner, they're going to have their own specifications, being the Pulse, typically a little bit faster than what AMD had. So I tried hard not to describe that during the unboxing phase. So let me know what you think about the specifications themselves. Now, again, this is a budget level entry card to actually combat NVIDIA's 3060, which I will be having a comparison between the two, so stay tuned for that. It's said that they're supposed to trade blows. Some of the benchmarks will come out higher on AMD and some on NVIDIA, but I'll let you know as soon as possible on that. Stay tuned here on This Bytes For You for all the latest information on the Sapphire Pulse 6600. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do list them down below. I reply to everyone. And check my description for all the parts used during this review. And as always, please do click like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. That way I can keep bringing you things just like this. Iggy with This Bytes For You up. See you guys.